What's going on, everybody? It's your boy True Thought. Hopefully, everyone is staying safe during this time of COVID-19. Hopefully, you are wearing your mask where appropriate and social distancing where appropriate as well. I know we are in the Pierce household because we have someone who can be compromised by that. So we take it very seriously. So I want to make a video that just kind of talks about why I didn't go OCS. So as most of you who follow this channel know, 4 years ago I enlisted in the Maryland Army National Guard. My intentions at the time were to go OCS. I wanted to do the direct commission, where I would go to basic training, and then after basic training, ship off to OCS, and then after OCS, become a commissioned officer. That was the track that I desired to go. When I got in contact with when I started the process. So I had already spoken to people who were in the Army, who knew that if you had a degree in the active Army, then you can active duty Army, then you can direct commission and go OCS. So I thought it was going to be the same thing for the National Guard. Once I started the process, I realized that it was not. And so in the National Guard, you can go direct, you can have a direct commission. However, you have to have a degree in specific fields. So they have to be in the STEM fields or in law. So STEM meaning science, technology, engineering, mathematics, or again, you can have a law degree and receive a direct commission as well. I didn't know that. I have a degree in English. I was an English teacher for 11 years. So I thought I was fine as far as that was concerned until I started the process. Once I started the process, I realized that I was not going to be able to go OCS. I was very interesting. I actually went through, speaking with my recruiter and letting him know that I really wanted that option, or at least wanted to, pursue that option later on in my career. He put me in contact with some commander that I have no idea who he is. Never met him before. Haven't met him since. I've never met him. Period. I've only had a phone conversation, and the phone conversation probably lasted 4 to 5 minutes, and essentially it was basically like, hey, why do you want to go OCS? What do you think you bring to the Army? And then once I answered those questions, he was like, hey, excellent job. I recommend that you can. I would recommend you for OCS. Further in your career. So I was like, great, and I thought that was a legit. I thought that was a legit interaction. Of course, like I said, 4 years later, understanding the process, understanding the Army, how things go, I understand that was not a legit. That was not a legit promise. That basically just kind of smoothed me right into my enlistment. But like I said, that's the reason why I didn't go OCS in the National Guard, because I didn't have the correct degree to do so. There are times when the Army National Guard needs officers, or they need warrants, or they need something enough where they will kind of relax the rules or the standards a little bit to get to fill those positions. So there are times when some people may enlist and that direct commission option is available to them, not having a degree in the STEM fields or in law. And in that case, I would suggest that you take advantage of it if it's what you really want to do. In fact, I think I've met 2 people who enlisted maybe a year before I did, maybe about a year before I did, and that was an option for them. They were able to take their degrees and whatever it was and do a direct commission, go from basic training straight to OCS. So now 4 years later, thinking about it, I'm not upset that things happened the way that they happened. I'm not upset that I didn't go OCS right off the bat. For one, being enlisted gives you a perspective of how the Army works in a way that being an officer does not. And what I mean by that isn't that, of course, I mean, obviously officers work, and officers do what they need to do for the Army. But on the enlisted side, you really are the boots on the ground. No matter what field you're in, you really are. You really are the people, the soldiers who are in the everyday minutia of that field and of that work. And so being enlisted gives you a great appreciation for that. Gives you a great appreciation for the soldiers who do that work, and gives you a great appreciation for how the Army works in general. I think, kind of going through that process, and kind of coming up through the ranks, does something for your perspective. So that if you do decide to go OCS, become an officer, you kind of already understand how your subordinates, are operating, how your subordinates are thinking. Oftentimes, if you have a person who was enlisted prior and then they go OCS and become an officer, once they come in and work, it's normally pretty seamless, because again, they understand the subordinate soldiers, but they also, especially if they're in the same field that they were enlisted in, they understand how things work, how the processes work. So it just seems to be a very seamless process, or easier process, when an officer has come from the enlisted side. With that being said, being there for 4 years has also, kind of given me my own perspective of what I want to do for my career. I recently decided to go ahead and pursue the full 20 years, in the Army Reserves. I wasn't sure, maybe this time last year, I was kind of on the fence. My ETS time from the National Guard was coming up, and I was kind of, I was really leaning towards just, ETSing out of the Army National Guard and just being done with the military in general, just going on about my civilian career. But now being over in the reserves, kind of getting a different perspective, and, a little bit more opportunity on this side of the house than it is on the guard side of the house, at least for me it was. I made the decision that I'm going to do this for 20 years. And if I'm going to do it for 20 years, my goal at this point is to go warrant. I want to become a warrant officer. And the main reason why I want to become a warrant officer is because, I like the field that I'm in. I enjoy it. I enjoy learning it. There's so many different facets to it. There's so many different, different avenues that it can go. So I want to stay in it, and I want to become a SME. I want to become the subject matter expert, in it. And warrant officer is that track. Now, as a warrant officer, you are the subject matter expert. You're the person that the enlisted side, as well as the officer side, comes to when they have questions about certain things that are regarding your field. You're still, and to some degree, you're still in charge of soldiers, but it's still a smaller degree than it is, for the commission side. But like I said, for me personally, I am more attracted to the warrant officer side at this point in my life, just because I've found a field, a career that I really like, and I just want to become the best that I possibly can at it. And so that's where I'm going to head. And I think that, if I had been given the opportunity to go OCS early on, obviously I would have taken it. And I don't know if I would have liked it or not. But I do know that I wouldn't have had the time to kind of get this perspective. I've met officers who have told me personally, commissioned officers who have told me personally that if they could do it all over again, that they would have gone warrant. Mainly because, again, they liked the field. They liked the field that they were in, and they also like the perspective that a warrant officer gets, rather than a commissioned officer. I think a warrant officer is a little bit more closer to your enlisted soldiers, as far as just knowledge and doing that work. And so I've spoken to a few officers who say if I could do it over again, I wouldn't go OCS, I would go warrant. And I think that comes again, over time. You learn some things, you're exposed to some things, and it lets you know what you really want. And that's where I am. I'm at a point where now I'm thinking, if I'm going to do 20 years, I'm going to do the enlisted, go up, become a NCO. I'm going off to BLC in a few months, so I can get my E5, and then start the process of getting my NCOERs, and start the track to submitting a warrant packet in a couple of years. So hopefully everything goes well, and I'll let you guys know. I hope you guys are again staying safe, and I hope those of you who are seeking to enlist in the Army, again, do your research. I wish you all good luck. Those of you who are in the Army, Army National Guard, Army Reserves, again, hua, and thank you for your service. And everybody, have a good night. Take care.